Have you ever wondered why certain anxieties just seem to stick around no matter what you do? Well, psychology tells us that a really tough childhood doesn't just, shape our memories. It can actually physically rewire our adult brains for survival. So let's get into it.
I mean, do you ever find yourself replaying conversations over and over in your head? Trying to figure out every little shift in someone's tone? Or maybe you feel that jolt of panic when a text message just seems a little off. If any of that sounds familiar, listen up. It is not a flaw in your personality. It's not you being too sensitive. The truth is, these behaviors are often incredibly deep psychological survival tools that your brain built to protect you, especially if you grew up in an environment that didn't feel emotionally safe.
All right, so let's get into our very first trait. This one is huge, and it's all about living your life in a state of constant high alert. There's a clinical name for this. It's called hypervigilance. And notice how the definition points out that the threat isn't just physical, but emotional. That's the key right there. It's like you have this internal radar that's just constantly scanning your surroundings for any tiny sign of emotional trouble. And this really shows the connection so clearly. As a kid, you might have had to become an absolute expert at reading a parent's mood, just to know if it was safe to even ask a question. So now, as an adult, that same programming just kicks right in. A partner's quiet moment isn't just silence to you. Your brain immediately flags it as a serious threat. And wow, this quote just nails the feeling, doesn't it? It is an exhausting way to go through life, running on an old operating system that's always bracing for an impact that, most of the time, isn't even coming.
Okay, let's move on to our second trait. And this one can feel a little weird. It's all about that strange difficulty in accepting something that's supposed to feel good, like kindness. So here's the really important thing to get. This isn't about being humble. It's an automatic, almost reflexive reaction to just push away praise. It's a defense mechanism you learn in a place where any kind of positive attention wasn't really straightforward or even safe.
Let's see how this all connects. So, when praise in your childhood always came with a catch or, was only used to try and control you, you learn pretty fast not to trust it. So, as an adult, a genuine compliment can actually trigger a physical feeling of discomfort because your body's basically just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I mean, what a powerful way to put it. This isn't a conscious choice you're making. Your brain's wiring literally flags pure, unconditional kindness as something strange, maybe even a threat, because all of its past experience taught it that affection was a transaction. And, that leads us perfectly into our third and final trait for this explainer, an intense, sometimes completely overwhelming need for control. That first word, there's everything, protective. This isn't about being a so-called control freak. It's a strategy that's been deeply burned into your brain to try and build a fortress of safety when your inner world just feels completely chaotic. Just think about it for a second. If you grew up in a home where the rules were always changing, where emotional outbursts could happen at any second, you had zero control. So in response, your adult brain desperately tries to manage every little variable, your routines, your plans, even other people, just to stop that terrifying feeling of powerlessness from ever coming back. And that just cuts right to the heart of it. It is not a personality choice. It's a trauma response. Your nervous system is still on high alert, absolutely terrified of being ambushed by emotional chaos, just like it was when you were a kid. So after hearing all of this, it might be really easy to feel like, wow, something is wrong with me. But that's the one message we have to flip on its head. You're not broken. You're a survivor. Seriously, let that word just sink in for a moment. These aren't your flaws. Every single one of these traits we've talked about, the hypervigilance, deflecting kindness, the need for control, was your brain's brilliant, creative way of adapting to an impossible situation. And that's the absolute truth. Your brain is an incredible survival machine. It created these patterns to keep you safe in a world you had no control over. The thing is, what once kept you safe might now be the very thing that's holding you back. Just acknowledging that is such a powerful first step. And the good news is, you don't have to completely tear down your life to start healing. The journey forward isn't about giant leaps. It starts with really small, deliberate actions. The power here is how simple these are. You're not trying to fix everything at once. You're just gently retraining your nervous system. So first, pause. The next time you feel that automatic urge to say, I'm sorry, just take one single breath. That tiny pause creates a crack in the old programming. Second, practice saying no. Just once a week to something small and low stakes.
This teaches your brain that you can set a boundary and the world won't fall apart. And third, notice your own needs. Before you automatically jump to help everyone else, just ask yourself one simple question. What do I need right now? This starts to shift the focus back home, to you. And this right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. You cannot change the past, but you have all the power to create your present and your future. Healing is about taking that responsibility, not as a heavy burden, but as an incredible act of empowerment.
So as we wrap things up, I really want to leave you with this question to think about. Which of these traits really hit home for you? And which one feels like the first one you might be ready to start letting go of? That's where the journey begins, with that one choice.